He's like, I just really need you to hold on to this ladder. When I grew up, I never thought that I would do any type of construction, roofing, anything really blue collar. I always thought like, I'd be an accountant or something like that, because that's what my family did. That's where I came from. But when I was 18, I had just graduated high school, and going into the summer, I hadn't yet decided what I was going to do for college. And one of my buddies, he was starting his own roofing company at the time. And he was like, man, he's like, I really could use like a driver for the summer just to kind of help me get started. And, it's like, I'll pay you good, I'll feed you, but, we'll be on the road. And, basically you'll just drive me around. That way I can sell more. And, he pitched it to me, and I was like, you know what, this kind of sounds fun, something different. And so I did it. And I started doing the math on how much he was paying me. And I was like, this guy's got to be making, decent money to be able to pay me this much. And I started, watching him do his job, and I was like, all this is just a sales job. And I was like, this really doesn't seem that hard. So probably about 3 months in, I want to say it was like end of August, right as I was starting college, I was like, dude, I think I could, do your job, just as good, if not better than you could. And he was like, yeah, he's like, I agree. He's like, it's not that hard. He's like, you just got to be able to, learn the industry. And so, I had already caught on to some things as I was driving during the summer. But obviously, he was like, well, we got to get you on some roofs now. We got to get you hitting some doors and stuff like that. And so he wanted to get me like all the experience I could on climbing every different type of roof, flat ones, steep ones, super high up in the air. It didn't matter. He was just like, whatever the roof is, let's just get you some experience. So he bought me some boots, got me a rope, got me a harness. And we just started, every inspection he went to, I got on top of the roof with him. Didn't matter what it was. And I remember it was probably maybe the third day that I had started climbing roofs with him. We go to this one house, and it was kind of in the hood. It was, really rundown area, and it was a investment property, I think, for one of his regular guys he would do roofs for. And he was just like, yeah, y'all can get up on the roof, do your inspection, whatever, check it out. And so we popped the ladder up, and he's like holding my ladder. He's like, I'm going to go up first. And I was like, okay, whatever. So I'm holding the ladder, not really paying attention. And all of a sudden, I just hear this crunch, just, and I was like, what the heck was that? And I look up, and his foot, my boss's foot, was stuck in the roof. Like he had took one step off the ladder. His foot was impaled into the roof, and his other foot was still on the ladder. And I was like, oh goodness, like I have no idea what to do here. So I was like, yo, are you okay? Like, what's going on? And he's like, no. He's like, I'm fine. He's like, I just really need you to hold on to this ladder. He's like, because I don't know what's going to happen when I pull my foot out of this roof. And I was like, oh gosh, like, dude, I do not want to be responsible for my freaking boss dying the third day we're out here trying to do this. And so I'm holding on as tight as I can to that ladder, and he's like pulling and pulling, and the ladder's kind of shaking around because he's trying to get his foot unstuck. I think it was stuck on like one of the rafters. He had gone so deep. And he finally gets it out and pulls it off, and he just looks down. He's like, we're just going to go to the next job now. And I was like, okay, I'm glad. He's like, we're not even getting on that roof. And so the day goes on. We go to the next job, and we pull up, and it was kind of a bigger roof. And again, he had just started his company, so he was willing to kind of climb any roof, sign up any job. And it was super high, steep off the ground. It was about 3 stories off the ground, but we only had like a 25-foot ladder, something like that, 26, 27 foot. And so, he props it up, and we're probably, 3 feet short from being able to reach the top. And he's like, all right, he's like, I got an idea. And I was like, oh boy. And he props the ladder, he backs his truck in all the way to the driveway, props his ladder onto the truck, and angles it to where the ladder is sitting against his tool bed, and gets it all the way to the top, maybe with just like a foot of clearance, like with just enough for us to get up there. And he was like, all right, he's like, you want to go first or me? And I was like, well, I don't want to die. And I saw what happened to the last roof we just got on. So how about you go first, and I'll hold on to this truck, and hopefully this ladder doesn't fall. And so he climbs up, and luckily it was a flat spot that you could step onto at the very top. But then it was my turn to come up, and right after that flat spot was a massive steep walk up. So he's like, hey, I'm gonna help you get up, and then you're also gonna have to hold on to this rope. We're gonna get our harness in and climb all the way to the top. And so I'm climbing up this ladder, and I wasn't really afraid of heights, but at the time, I mean, I was like 260, like I was big guy. And so like I'm shaking, the ladder's shaking obviously, because probably was too big to be on the ladder, much less a ladder on the back of a truck bed. And I finally got the guts to step off the ladder, and then immediately I got a harness in and walk up this super steep roof that had to be at least 25 years old. I mean, it was absolutely just granulars falling off the roof, slipping and sliding. I'm like, dude, if I fall, I'm literally just gonna fall and just die, just land right on that truck. And I remember I climbed up, and I was like, as soon as I got to the top, I was like, dude, I want to get down. This is uncomfortable. But we stayed up there. We got that inspection done. It was a lot of fun. But it just, those times when you're first learning the industry are just so valuable. Just having those experiences, and even though not all of them are definitely OSHA approved, there's a lot of them that just make good stories and are very memorable experiences. So that's all I got today, guys. Thanks for watching.